he really, it's rough. It's a sad story. It's rough. So I feel bad ripping old boy, but it is what it is, and you can't do that, man. You just had a fight. Sure, you were the underdog against Porter, and sure, you were the underdog here, but, dude, 54, he's got to go to 54. He fought there before, he's got to go to 54. And like you said, really know what's up in general about what's going on, because this is a huge opportunity, and it's money. You spend money when you do these camps, obviously. So, wow, man, I can't believe that. That's rough. That sucks, man. That sucks for Spence, too, because he's still going to be there, but it was a step-up fight for him, So, like you said, yeah, he was custom-made for him and all that, but what is he, 16, 17 fights in? I mean, this is where it was supposed to be like, oh, we've heard this guy. He actually made his name on ESPN. Okay, yeah, we've heard of this guy. Okay, let's see how he does. He's a tough son of a you-know-what, so let's check it out, and, man, that's rough. CT, man, two things. Let's talk about what you texted me about the NBC, because they did have and by the way, if people haven't seen it, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I believe, Eastern, I think it was 1 or 2, they had the preview show, what is it called? Corner to Corner? Or I don't remember what it's called. They got a show, a hype show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hype show, and they did a hype show for all 4 fighters about this card. It's going to rerun a couple of times. It's already rerun several times, I think 2-3 times since Sunday afternoon. I thought it was a nice little time slot when there was nothing on, just randomly there, and hey, maybe you pick up some viewership as far as some people that don't know about the fight coming up Saturday. So actually, it was early afternoon. Talk about why you're not surprised that this happened.
I was actually shocked because I saw the episode today, and he was on the couch, and it's like it's a Spanish cuisine dinner that he was eating his tostones, and I know that from my son's mother. It's a very fattening type food, and I'm like looking at him like, is he really eating that, preparing for a fight? Because the stuff, and he had some vegetables, I guess, on there. It would be like, I'm not really sure what they had for vegetables, but he had tostones, and that's pretty fattening. That's not something you should be eating preparing for a fight. And I noticed when he had the same thing when he fought Porter. I'm not positive, but I believe he went to a restaurant eating burritos. You remember that episode when he did the same? I was like, come on.
Now that you bring that up.
I was like, holy shit. I mean, some things that you got to try to stay away from during camp, and I think that's definitely one of the main things you need to eat proper, to maintain your weight level and everything. You got to take it a little bit more seriously. And, some fighters can do that, but seeing how he's physically built, he's kind of broad, and it looks like he's not as lean as Spence and other fighters. So you stay away from certain foods that category, and I was shocked when I saw him eating that. And I'm not really surprised that he can't make weight based off of mainly like what I saw him eat. And I don't know. I'm with you. I think he should go up to 154 because this was stylistically. I think it would have been a great fight to see. Spence versus a fighter that was going to test him. I think Garcia had the mental aspect to try to test him, but if he's not going to make weight, it's all on his fault. I'm not surprised that he can't make weight.
I can't believe it, especially when in March. The shit just happened in March, man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I mean, how much did you put on from March when you couldn't have that much of a break before you were, you know what I mean? It's crazy, dude. And just in general, these way that the way that's why we got to just figure out this system and get back to, like, if we're not going to have same-day weigh-ins, because that can be dangerous, we get that, whatever, that's fine. But let's do the rehydration. I love the IBF rule. There's a certain percentage on your body, and you can't gain more than that. And that way, people aren't going to be freaking out because, then you can't put on 18, 22 pounds and all that. And then they're not blowing up like the walk-around. Like Doug Fisher said it perfectly. I'm sick of this walk-around weight. What do you walk around as? Well, you know what? If this is this is obviously part of it. It's not all just laziness. It's just trying to fit into this stuff because they see everybody doing it. Now, some of it's laziness. Obviously, some of it's not disciplined, as we see with Walters and we've seen with Chavez, and now we see with Garcia. It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, come on. That's really a bummer. That's too bad because I thought a guy that's going to just come in and try to give the business to Ariel Spence is what he needed. It's a guy that a hardcore boxing fan would at least know. Like I said, he kind of made a nice little name for himself as far as like a little niche on Friday Night Fights. You know what I mean? He looked like, okay, this guy, he's solid. Nothing crazy, but he's solid. You know what I mean? It's too bad. It's really too bad. But on to bigger and better things, unfortunately. The main event, Broner versus Porter. Broner. We hear that said a bunch, too. A bunch of different ways. I'm going with Broner today. I barely say that. I've always called him Broner, but I'm going Broner today. So, Adrien Broner, the problem. Will he be a problem for Showtime Shawn Porter? Equal fight. Obviously, the catch weight could cause some major issues. Judging by the progress he's made as far as losing weight, judging by the month out weight, which was only 9 pounds away, judging by how they have their system in place, I'm kind of leaning that it's not going to kill him. To be honest, that's the way I'm looking at it right now. I could be totally wrong. Fight night will figure that out. We know the rehydration is there. He can't be over 10 pounds, but that's for both of them. And if anything, that's going to hurt. To me, that's going to hurt Broner because he never goes only up 10 pounds. Usually he's another guy that goes up 12, 15. 17. So that may hurt him. It may sting him, It may sting him. It really may sting him. So we'll see. I don't know, but either way, breaking this fight down, how do you see this one playing out, CT? Who you got and why?
You make up some good points, if you don't mind me talking about it. I saw a couple of videos on Instagram today, matter of fact, and just the physicality of both fighters, to me, it looks like Porter is a little bit in better shape. He took a picture today in training camp. I guess they were both training at the same place. And he took a video with Floyd Mayweather and Broner with a shirt off, and he looked to be a little bit sleeker, a little bit more toned, where Broner had a shirt on, but you see his body is a little bit thicker than Porter. So I'm with you. I think Porter looks right on. I think he's in great physical condition. He looks like a fighter who's always in great physical condition. And going by what I saw today, I think he makes the weight comfortable. And if he does make the weight comfortable, I think Broner's going to be in a lot of trouble. I think Porter's style, which people like to criticize him saying he's a little wild, but he might not have all the best skill level, but I think his tenacity and his aggressiveness and just his work rate making Broner uncomfortable in this fight will play a part. I think Broner likes to be on his back foot somewhat. He likes to be flat-footed. He's not mobile as Mayweather, so he likes to do that shoulder roll, but I don't think he has the same mobility as Mayweather, having the athletic ability to move out of the way of punches. I think Porter's going to be all over him. Not sure if I see him stopping Broner, but I just think, Broner likes to set his teeth jabbing. He throws his quick combinations and he kind of punches in somewhat, he likes fighting spurts sometimes. But I think Porter won't let him do that. I think he's going to make him very uncomfortable. Porter throws shots from every angle to the body and head, and he's pretty quick himself. I think Broner has a better skill set, but I just think Porter's tenacity and his aggressiveness and his overall just run, he seems a little bit more hungrier. I think he's going to outwork Broner, and I think he's going to beat him by decision. But I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped him. The reason why I don't think he's going to stop him is because we saw that Broner has a lot of heart. I think he could take a shot. But I think Porter outworks him in this fight, and I see a decision won by Shawn Porter.
So just activity, swarming and pushing the pace,
Yes,
just all purpose, kind of just getting it done.
Yeah, he's a very strong fighter, and I think he could take a shot himself. I don't see Broner hitting him with anything that's going to hurt him. I think Porter's going to, just fight at his pace, and I think he's going to be a little more fast than what Broner wants to fight at, and I think that's going to play a big part in the fight.
It'd be interesting to see because obviously we saw what Maidana was able to do, and he's kind of a wild, not kind of, he's a wild puncher and a wide puncher and an overhand right puncher, you know what I mean, like a Shawn Porter. And we don't know. We don't know about the weight just yet, but I did see the pictures. He's still got some pounds to lose. But being that they're still eating full meals, at least they're telling us they are, and by looking at him training, in the last couple of weeks, I don't know where he's finding the energy if he's not eating properly, that's for sure. So we have 90 seconds left in the live stream, 646-381-4990. That's 646-381-4990. If you want to continue listening, if you want to join the round table, whatever you got to do, the point is, on your computer, if you're listening right now, it's not going to work. You got to call in on your cell, and that way you can join in or keep listening to the archive. And in the rehydration, I think it hurts, like I mentioned, Broner more because he's not used to having rehydration, and he's had a lot of rehydration as far as a lot of 10, 12, 15, 17 pounds, come fight night. So he hasn't had to watch what he's eating, or step on a scale while you're eating. You know what I mean? And the reason why, Porter's also said this as well, that, the last 3-4 fights for a while, I had to do the rehydration. I'm used to only putting 10 pounds on because of the IBF. Because remember, he was in the system and he had the belt. And so he's used to sitting there, like he mentioned in the boxingvoice.com and several other shows, of how he, said, I'm used to taking in some liquid and food, having a scale right next to me, make sure I'm not going overboard. Of course, you can have a nice walk or jog in the morning to loosen up. Sometimes you get a half a pound or a pound there just doing that. Just going to the bathroom. We won't know till fight night, and it could kill him. I know the whole thing about he was a 160-pounder and all that, but we also know he had football weight on him. The last time he was 144 was 2011. He's made that weight, but not in a while. So ultimately, I'm up here talking confidently, but I know that could be an issue, obviously. I just think for a guy that doesn't get 10 pounds over his weight out of camp, that really helps. You know what I mean? And they're talking about 4 meals a day and still going hard at the time. This is a couple of weeks ago, whatever. I think that he can pull this off. Now, who knows? Like I said, those extra couple pounds, man, they can rip you up. They can tear your soul away as a fighter. Your fighting soul can be teared away, especially the fighting he's going to have to do. I mean, that's all he really knows. Amateur pedigree, whatever. He wants to come and he'll stay on the outside a little bit. He'll bounce around on his toes, but he wants to go ahead and jack him up. You know what I mean? So we're going to find out. He'll need all that energy. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Holly Hood. What's good, Holly Hood? How you doing, buddy?
Ain't nothing, Sean. It's your world, man. I'm just living in it. What's good?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'll tell you what, we had a a busy fight weekend that turned out to give us some drama, especially in the fight that we thought would be a walkover, Molina and Wilder. If you want to speak upon any of that, speak upon it, sir. Otherwise, let's get into this Broner Porter, man.
Hey, listen, right? I don't know what y'all keep talking about on here, man, but I got sources in both camps. Man, listen, when y'all talk about that Shawn Porter making a weight comfortably, listen, I know somebody that was just in his camp that just sparred with him, that went rounds with him, that watch him get outboxed every day. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. If you got the money, man, go ahead and bet your money on Broner, man. From what I'm hearing out of both,
I didn't say comfortable.
From what I'm hearing out of both camps, man, that boy is struggling, man. That boy is at close to about 150 now. You feel what I'm saying? And you cutting down, you know what I mean, to make 44 6 pounds, man. It's plus and also a 10-pound rehydration clause, so he can only come in at 154. So right now he's killing himself to get down them extra 4 pounds, man. And I'm hearing right now Adrien Broner is walking around at 148, where he got to eat meals just to keep the weight on him. And I mean, I can call the person right now, and I got the pictures right now when he stepped on the scale to show you. He at 148 right now, comfortably.
Well, I believe that. I don't think he'll have a problem. As far as
the thing is,
I'm talking about rehydration.
Even in the
he's had a problem with that in the past.
He's cool. You have to understand he's out Vegas now. And, he's out Vegas in the summertime. So, right now, when they doing they sparring, when they running, when they jogging, they burning that weight off easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shawn's been out there. Don't get me wrong. I think Shawn's going to make the weight. But when it comes time to cut to that rehydration clause, I mean, he may make it comfortably, he may not. But when people talk about the thing between him and Broner, and this is the thing what I keep trying to explain to people, Shawn fights like he's playing football, where he want to get on the inside, he want to, let loose his combinations.
He's a
but
linebacker.
we also have to understand, huh? Go ahead, what you say?
He's a linebacker.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
a linebacker.
But we also got to understand that Shawn has a habit of smothering his work. He has a habit of getting too close where he don't know how to control distance. And that could be a problem with Adrien because regardless of what people say, Adrien can punch like a middleweight. He didn't break Madonna's jaw for nothing. You know what I mean? And Madonna is basically an orange jaw, and Adrien was able to break his jaw. You know what I'm saying? So what's going to be cracking Shawn, who also has a great chin, but Adrien packing a full clip to be able to make Shawn respect his power. When Shawn can't come in, and we all know Shawn only got one game plan where his game plan is to overpower you, get in close. We know if he can't do that, there's no plan B. I mean, and you've been around and you've seen stuff long enough to know that Shawn only has one game plan. If that don't work, they up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. So the thing is going to be is if Shawn's game plan don't work, what he's going to do. We watched it in a Brook fight where Brook was able to outpower him. Brook was able to stay behind his jab. Every time Shawn was to lunge in, Shawn to get a left jab to the face. So what's going to happen in the Adrien fight where he's been working on movement, he's been working on in close fighting, and he's been able to put his thumbs in close and be able to land more power shots. So Shawn is open for counters. He squares up a lot. You know what I mean? So what's going to happen when Adrien start landing them counters? What's going to happen when Shawn can't, when he gets in close and starts smothering his work, and Adrien is able to check left hook out and into box? You know what I mean? Because if Shawn's game plan don't work, he up the creek. And and from what I'm hearing and from what I'm told by trusted people who sparred with him, that he was getting outboxed on a daily. Everything that Adrien was going to do from somebody who's been in the camp with Adrien, was able to do every day. And I haven't heard this from one person. I heard this from several people, that he was getting outboxed every day from everything that the game plan that Adrien wanted to play. And playing the person who was sparring with him employed what Adrien to do, and Shawn couldn't do nothing about it. So, I mean, I just want to see what's going to happen. And from what I'm hearing, quiet is kept. I've heard that Adrien, for his sparring partners, was Emmanuel Taylor, Eddie Gomez. I heard he stopped Eddie Gomez about 4 nights before. I heard he stopped Eddie Gomez to the point where he had his girlfriend screaming. I've also heard he was getting in work with a few people. So, I mean, from what I'm hearing, he's looking sharp, man. And I haven't heard this from one person. I heard this from several people, man. Like, Adrien is looking real sharp. And, I mean, I hear he's a plus 25 underdog. So if you want to make some money, you better put your money on Adrien, man.
Well, plus he's the A side as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
that helps.
Everybody who keeps screaming this, Al Heyman trying to sell Adrien out, and I keep trying to tell people, if Al Heyman was going to sell Adrien out, if he was going to cash Adrien out, he wouldn't cash him out to Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter don't sell no tickets. And why would they put a catch weight and a rehydration clause if he wanted to sell Shawn out? People, please stop listening to Kenny Porter. Kenny Porter is trying to say anything to hype up the fight, to hype up his son, to give his son motivation. But if anybody trying to be cashed out, it's Shawn Porter. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's boxing business 101. Why would you cash a ticket seller out to a guy who can't sell no tickets?
Well, let's talk about what people are using as Maidana versus Broner and what the difference is between those two styles. Yeah, they're going to come and swarm you, but who's better at that style? Because that's what a lot of people are saying. Hey, if Maidana can do this, well then, look at Porter will be able to do that. Talk about that a little bit.
Different. It's different. It's different from Porter to Maidana, because Porter has a habit of smothering his work by getting too close. Porter haven't learned how to take that step back and work. Maidana, his punches come from wide angles, where he has the overhand right that comes from a wide angle. And also the thing about Maidana is, what people don't realize is, what he developed that feint, to where as though he feint to the body and come upstairs. And he was able to develop that early with Adrien, where he was going to the body earlier. He was going to the head. He was going to the head earlier. So when he was able to feint Adrien, he would get Adrien to drop his hands, and then he would come upstairs with that left hook, or he would come downstairs to that left hook. And a lot of people didn't see that. And also, far as with Maidana has a style where he jab, and then come in and explode. Porter just comes in and explodes, and he doesn't really work in. He tries to use his physical strength. And Maidana really doesn't rely too much on, he relies a little bit on physical strength, but also he relies on wild punches. Now, there's different weaknesses in the two, where Maidana is weak to that body, and Maidana's stamina ain't the best. Shawn's stamina is a little bit better, but Shawn's technique is where Maidana comes in with maybe a game plan 1, a game plan 2. Shawn only comes in with one game plan, and also you got to separate the two on corners, because Kenny Porter's a dummy, and Robert Garcia comes in with a little bit more of a better technical game plan, where it's get low, jab your way in, and do what you got to do, when Shawn is just a bull rush. And also, Shawn benefited from fighting two physically weak fighters, and Devin Alexander and Paulie Malignaggi. And you seen when Shawn was able to go up against a fighter who was physically strong, you see the game plan didn't work. So it's two different similarities. I mean, it's similarities in the two, but it's different subtle things in the two, where Maidana relies on a lot more of wide winging punches and overhand rights and feints, and Shawn just rely on just coming in, and his feints is stomping his feet and rushing in. So I mean, it's totally different, and I don't want people to mistake that.
Yeah, because that's everybody tries to say, well, man, I saw this and I saw that, and sometimes it does work out exactly how you go. Yep, that works, But then other times, it's not so much, and then you start to see the differences. I will say this though. You're right about the jab. He actually has a fast jab, but he sure doesn't want to use it much. And he definitely doesn't use it as much as what Maidana. Yeah, it's not as much as how Maidana really got on his jab there. He used to not use one either, but that's the first difference you saw under Robert Garcia, is that jab. And man, it really made a difference.
Maidana used a lot of feints in the fight. If you look at it, where he was investing in the body early, and then he would feint to the body and come upstairs. You don't see that in Shawn game plan. Shawn is just one way, where he just want to come in, bull rush you, overpower you, crowd you, and that's it. It's no fallback plan when it comes to Shawn. And when Adrien start dropping them hooks down on Shawn, and when he start, being able to box Shawn, what is Shawn is going to be able to do? Because people don't realize Adrien is a lot stronger than what people give him credit for. And, people don't realize in a Maidana fight, we watched him get dropped, we watched him fall. But if you look at the last part of the fight, he was backing Maidana up. You understand what I'm saying? And people didn't see that to the point where he broke Maidana's jaw. And, Kell Brook is a big puncher, and Adrien is a big puncher. When Shawn got to fight guys who can crack, he's a little bit more honest. You know what I mean? Where, if you watch it, Julio Diaz, past his prime, was able to outbox Shawn. You understand what I'm saying? And people not realizing is Shawn can be outboxed. He don't have the smartest technical mind. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His game is just to rush you, to crowd you, to do whatever he can to win the fight. And if that don't work, he's basically resorting into whatever he can find that works. If you look at the Brook fight, watch his techniques in the second half of the fight when nothing else worked.
Yeah.
What was he doing? Remember,
nothing else except getting clinched and not doing anything about it, and looking at the ref for bailout. And that's another thing, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because they talked about well, we got plans for the clinch, but it's like, you should already have plans for the clinch. Like, that was our going in to that fight. You should have plans for the clinch. You don't just get plans for the clinch now. That's a little troubling as far as what you're talking about, how good Kenny Porter is for Shawn Porter as a trainer. Hollywood, if you want to chill, please do. If you got things to do, I appreciate you calling in, man. I'm gonna hit the rest of the callers up here real quick. Carcino, what's going on, my brother? How you been, man?
I've been all right. Just enjoying the show.
Well, I'm sure that you might as well just get the Chicago Blackhawks stuff out right now. Just get it out, put it out in the air, just put it out.
It's
3 and 6
no need
years.
to rub it in. Once we beat Anaheim, it was all over. It was really all over.
Once you swept the Wild, I pretty much knew it was a wrap. Once Minnesota couldn't even get a win off you, I pretty much knew it was a wrap from there.
Yeah, Minnesota, it's the pressure. They don't know how to handle those type of situations. When there's too much pressure on them, they do too much. They just panic. And they don't know how to settle themselves. And the Hawks got so much experience. And that's the same thing happened with Tampa Bay. They just panic.
Yeah.
And then
Sure.
when what's his name, Bishop, when he really pulled a groin and should have been benched.
Right.
And he wanted to play, and obviously it was affecting him because he couldn't move the way he wanted to move. So I saw that. I said, yeah, he's done. But Kruger at center, my goodness, he should have won. They should have gave him some sort of award. People don't even know the type of work he played in that series. He was so key.
Dude, the scary thing is how young you guys are. We're all pumped about how young we're here, but you guys are just as young, if not younger, and that's the scary part. We're up here, the state of hockey, but that doesn't always transfer into professional. It's not like we can draft our guys from our own state, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, but we're going to lose some guys, you know, because of the cap. So we might have to, you know, some guys going to go, but it is what it is. But,
yeah, it sure is, man.
Yeah, let's get into this Porter fight.
Let's do it, man, because I know you're going to have some things to say about that tailback.
Oh, yeah. But from what I'm hearing is their game plan is they're going to try to outbox Adrien Broner. They're not just going to come in and try to bull rush him because they're thinking that's what Adrian, you know, they're practicing for. So they're going to try to beat him on the outside and use foot speed to beat Adrien Broner and choose when to do the charge and attack. Because they're like, Shawn is faster than Adrien is not fast. And he uses speed, and Adrien don't move his feet. So their thing is they're practicing on just fighting on angles and using the jab and then throwing, you know, landing a big shot and then going in and playing in the attack smart. Don't just come in trying to bull rush him. He's like, nah, we ain't going to do that. We're going to beat him with the feet, show him some smooth. The Shawn can box. You know, they're really working on that. He's jabbing and trying to, you know, confuse Adrien Broner, and I think they're going to confuse themselves with that game plan because Shawn Porter isn't that kind of fighter. He's never been, and, you know, I feel bad for him because his father loves the limelight a lot and don't want to have anybody come in and actually work with the kid who knows something about boxing. But for Shawn to make it this far is amazing. But in this fight, they are taking random blood and urine tests. So this is the first time I know Shawn Porter is taking random blood and urine tests. So that was very adamant in this fight being made. Because without it, it was a deal breaker. And now that he's going to be doing this, all the speculation about him taking steroids, we'll see what he really looks like after 4 or 5 rounds now. You know, let's see what Porter looks like then. Because I think Adrien Broner stops him. I say he stops Porter in probably like around 9 or 10. Because Adrian's going to pop shot him. He's going to turn him. He's going to beat him with his feet. He's going to fall into him, headbutt him a lot. Because the thing about Porter, I mean, I like him. It's his father, really. He doesn't know how to teach him how to make adjustments. He squares up his feet a lot, and he's off balance. And then he's got too much weight on his front foot. He's leaning over, and then as the fight goes and he's fatigued, he goes back to all those fundamental mistakes he made. You know, in the first round, he looked good a little bit, like he looked decent. Like, oh, okay, all right, he's doing something. Then he goes 1 punch or 2 punch, he starts doing the same thing. His chin is too far up in the air. And Broner can land an uppercut, and Broner has one of the best left hooks in the business. Like, that's really his money punch, is the left hook. And I swear, if he hits Porter with that left hook, the way I think he's going to hit him, he's going to cause some damage. Because all he has to do is keep using angles and turn Porter around, and he'll be okay. Porter is not really a hard puncher. He's more just his force coming forward, he's strong. But he doesn't throw punches correctly, and most of them are just arm punches. Because this is the guy who didn't have, like, any knockouts until, like, his recent couple of fights. He was, when he fought Paulie Malignaggi on the smaller guys. That's why he was matched up with smaller guys, so he can score some knockouts and look impressive over the smaller guys because he's not a big puncher. Now, he's in a situation where he's going to have to try to out-slick a fighter that's slick and try to rough him up. And if they try the Madonna tactic, that's crazy. Because they looked at the Madonna fight as far as the fight film, then they looked at his last fight. And I'm like, well, that's dumb. Because Nate Jones has been working with him, and Nate is very good at working with, like, finding niches in your game and improving it, like from footwork, from the way you're throwing your punches, how to conserve energy in the ring, and that's why Floyd Mayweather uses it. That's why he said, well, you need Nate to help you. to get you ready for this fight. Because this is a showcase fight for Adrien. This is the fight he needs. Because there's a lot of people don't think he's going to win the fight. And this is exactly what he needs to do. If he beats Porter the way I think he can beat Porter, then no one else is going to doubt him. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, Broner's back, I think he'll kind of redeem himself a little bit from the Madonna loss. But I just don't see Shawn Porter having the fundamental boxing abilities, not to mention the weight and everything. I just don't think that's going to even matter. He could be drained or whatever, and he's like, oh, his weight killed him. He's got his excuse out, but it's not going to matter. Adrian's not going to muscle him down. Adrian's just going to beat him up. They're going to touch him in the body. They're going to jab. They're going to use every angle they can and turn that boy and give him a boxing lesson. And they're going to break him down, and I think Adrian's going to stop him. He's going to be too fatigued trying to land a big shot on Adrien Broner. And once Adrien Broner starts landing powerful right hands, because the right hands will be there, then the left hook, he's going to stop Shawn Porter. I don't even think Shawn Porter could make it 12 rounds. I think he's going to probably collapse from exhaustion before it hits 12 rounds. He's got a big heart, but there's too many fundamental mistakes. And his chin, he never tucks his chin in. I mean, you can't just keep your chin out there and expect to still have it. Eventually, somebody's going to ring the bell, and that's it. Every fighter I know who kept their chin too high eventually was on the canvas. They cannot make it. Michael Grant was the same way. They brought Michael Grant in. I'm like, Michael Grant's going to get knocked out. He's just asking for it. Made a lot of money off that Lennox Lewis fight. But it's just like, to me, that's just the way the boxing is now. A lot of these guys, they're so good at what they do, and they've been very effective at it, that they forget the fundamental things. And, well, Shawn did come from football, so he probably didn't, in football, you kind of keep your head up. So, there's little fundamental things like that could end up costing him. But I think talent-wise, Broner's more talented, and I think he stops him. I'll go round 9. Round 9 TKO.
Round 9 TKO.